So, like, it's the new moon before Walpurgisnacht, and I have a bunch of seed and apples for an offering, and a bag of ideas I plan to intern at a spot on the way to where I plan to make the offering. And then, fuck, I realized I dropped the bag along the way. I had cut across a field of weeds and trash, but also had walked by a busy road. Fuck. I retraced my steps like 3 times, finally found it. But by then the fucking dawn was near, so I buried the bag. Then, in the fleeing gloom edge, saw a fairly large teddy bear in an open spot, face down. I rolled it over and buried it in bird seed, and put the apples near it, touching. The crows could come and feed on the faux corpse, train them to look for dead babies. It was a very pale teddy. Still, someone may have loved it once, upon a time. Everything is one big thought that is constantly misremembered. The indifferent universe is unaware of itself. Charges that push and pull, dismember and fuse with abandon. Gravity is acceleration, our hopes and dreams patterns. God's Rorschach. We force meaning on love, matter, mating. Reason ripples reflected on you will be forgotten, even more in the future than you are now. The Egyptian error. As long as you are remembered, you are immortal. You endure in the other plane, unable to achieve the peace of death. Hitler and Tutankhamun, forever in hell. Joe, nobody, free fairly soon after his flesh prison rots away. Abraham Lincoln, eternally bleeding from his head due to being on a penny and having a holiday. So Yahweh told Eve, "No, you will die, all of you, all of them, children of you and yours." But then Cain killed, bring to earth the first of Yahweh's promised deaths, and Cain was rewarded with the first reprieve. Cain would never die. After enough of Eve's grand to the aunt kids died, one of them would then be the one to kill the serpent who had said, "Surely you will not die." Yahweh's rebuttal. From her womb, born in pain, will drag the one to bring death to the one that bruises heals. He then makes his own kid death-proof to avoid further screw-ups. One of Satan's greatest victories at the time appeared a desperate act. As the brave third fled to find freedom, they left one behind, as a spy, a covert asset, one private to Yahweh's counsels. In fact, helped shape some of Yahweh's dumbest moves, such as circumcision as a covenant and not an act of elf concern. Yahweh was loath to admit using a dog's dick on humans was an act of lazy thrift that later needed amending. The plant was outed after Yahweh's son's public suicide. An urging of his followers to eat me led the way for the crack-bottom issue of Ishmael to bring the jinn into the mix.